Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating topic straight from our source material: the 10 hidden signs of extraordinary intelligence. We spend so much of our lives measuring how smart we are by these totally outdated metrics, right? Things like grades, degrees, or how fast someone can solve a math problem in their head. But what if the actual markers of a brilliant mind were just hiding in plain sight, disguised as your everyday quirks? Today, we're going to go through a curated list of 10 hidden signs that you might actually possess extraordinary intelligence, and you didn't even know it.
So, I want to start things off by asking you a very direct question. Could you be a hidden genius? Seriously, take a second and think about it. We usually hold on to this really rigid picture of what a genius looks like, but as we explore the source material today, you might just find that your own peculiar everyday habits are actually the hallmarks of a highly advanced, exceptionally active brain. Section 1. Rethinking Extraordinary Intelligence. So, our source defines extraordinary intelligence as cognitive abilities and unique processing styles that manifest as everyday quirks, rather than traditional academic metrics. We are literally tossing the SATs and IQ tests right out the window today. Instead, we're looking for non-traditional markers. We're diving into how a brain actually processes the world around it, handles information, and navigates daily life. Section 2. Unexpected Daily Habits.
All right, sign number 1, the messy workspace. Look, if your desk is just covered in papers, empty coffee mugs, and endless sticky notes, you've probably been told your whole life that you're just disorganized. But actually, a cluttered desk often indicates a highly creative, non-linear brain. Rather than worrying about strict conventional tidiness, these minds are prioritizing rapid thought. They're essentially creating this physical visual map of their ideas, constantly drawing connections between seemingly completely unrelated concepts. So, a messy desk is often just the sign of creative genius hard at work.
And that non-linear processing often keeps going way late into the night, which brings us to sign number 2, the night owl schedule. Do you ever find yourself suddenly getting this massive burst of energy and focus right around the time everyone else is going to sleep? Staying up late is actually an incredibly frequent marker of active unconventional cognitive function. Highly intelligent people often really struggle to shut their brains off at a normal hour, just because their minds are running at such an insanely high processing speed. While a standard circadian rhythm naturally winds down in the evening, an extraordinarily intelligent brain often operates on what is sometimes called a delayed genius sleep phase. Why is that? Well, because these minds absolutely thrive in the quiet, distraction-free hours of the night. When the rest of the world finally goes quiet, there are way fewer interruptions, and that allows for deep, totally uninterrupted creative and analytical thought.
Section 3, social quirks and interactions.
Let's group signs 3 and 4 together here because honestly, they create a truly fascinating paradox: craving solitude and hyper-empathy. On one hand, highly intelligent people often desperately need their alone time just to recharge their busy brains. But on the other hand, they exhibit hyper-empathy. They feel the emotions of others incredibly intensely, and they read the room almost too well. It's a total paradox. You want to be alone, but when you are with people, you are deeply, intensely tuned into their emotional states. That kind of high-level emotional processing takes a massive amount of mental energy, which completely explains why that solitude is so desperately needed afterward. Moving right along with our social signs, we've got signs 5 and 6, a love for dark humor and meaningful conversations. Highly intelligent people generally just despise small talk. Discussing the weather just doesn't provide enough cognitive stimulation for them. They'd much rather skip the pleasantries and dive straight into deep, meaningful discussions. Plus, they often have a very distinct appreciation for dark humor. To really get dark humor, your brain actually has to do a lot of complex processing. It has to rapidly parse multiple meanings, incongruities, and social taboos, all at the exact same time. It's quite literally a mental workout that a highly intelligent brain enjoys doing. I absolutely love this quote from our source material because it just perfectly sums up what we've been talking about so far. What society labels as an odd quirk is often the quiet engine of a brilliant mind at work. I want you to really let that sink in for a second. This entire explainer is about reframing. Behaviors that society might quickly write off as weird, antisocial, or disorganized are actually incredibly positive traits. They're the engines of brilliance.
Section 4, unique cognitive patterns.
Okay, be honest. Have you ever been caught doing this? Sign 7 is talking to yourself out loud. People get so embarrassed when they get caught chatting away to themselves in the grocery store aisle or at their desk. But narrating your thoughts isn't a sign of losing your grip. Actually, scratch that. It's totally the opposite. It's a high-level, practical tool for problem solving. By speaking out loud, you're forcing your brain to slow down, organize its thoughts, and process information through both language creation and auditory reception. It drastically improves your focus and memory retention.
Next up, we're grouping signs 8 and 9, relentless curiosity and chronic overthinking. These are quite literally two sides of the exact same coin. A highly intelligent mind is like an engine that simply never stops asking why. That relentless curiosity is exactly what drives innovation and learning. But, when an engine never turns off, it predictably leads to chronic overthinking. You might find yourself analyzing every single possible outcome of a situation, which can lead to decision paralysis or anxiety. It's kind of the heavy burden of a brain that can see 10 steps ahead in every possible direction. When you look at the general population, only a small, exclusive 15% slice actually exhibits these hidden, unconventional markers of intelligence. That means 85% of people fit the more traditional metrics. So if these signs are resonating with you today, you're part of a very rare cognitive group. Your brain simply operates on a different, much rarer frequency than the vast majority of people out there. And finally, we arrive at sign 10, recognizing the limits of your knowledge. This is, hands down, probably the most profound sign of all. True intelligence isn't about knowing everything. It's about openly acknowledging how much you absolutely don't know. Less intelligent people often suffer from this false sense of confidence. They think they know it all. But an exceptionally intelligent person understands the vastness of the universe and just how complex information really is. They're totally comfortable saying, I don't know, but I want to find out. Humility in learning is the ultimate hallmark of a true genius. Section 5, redefining your potential. So how do we actually apply all of this? Well, our source lays out a really clear 3-step realization process. Step 1, observe your habits neutrally. Stop judging your messy desk or your 2 a.m. energy bursts as bad and just simply observe them for what they are. Step 2, stop forced self-correction. Look, if you work best at 1 a.m. and your lifestyle allows it, stop forcing yourself to be a 6 a.m. morning person just because society says you should. And then step 3, the absolute most important one. Embrace your cognitive flow. Lean into your dark humor, your need for solitude, your relentless curiosity. Just give your brain the permission to operate exactly the way it was brilliantly designed to. I want to leave you today with this final provocative thought. How will you measure your own brain power starting today? Are you going to keep judging yourself by those outdated metrics? Or are you finally ready to embrace the hidden genius in your everyday quirks? Take these 10 signs, recognize your unique brilliance, and seriously, stop apologizing for the way your incredible mind works. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to go out there and let your unconventional intelligence shine.